between your life jacket and your belt buckle, you've got an awful lot of butterflies right about now. The most important race in your life is about to start. The world title is at stake. And you drift around counterclockwise in a race boat and wait and wait and wait.
The green flag's up, they've hit it, and now they're going. It's a race. First boat out of the chalk is the Arneson boat. It's by far and away the quickest, I think. But I think, you know, everyone is going to sort of feel everyone else out to see how they want to run, how fast they want to push it. Conceivably, a boat is going to break if you constantly hawk it on.
An elite collection of the fastest offshore powerboats in the world, commanded by the cream of international competitors, sliced through the waters off this island city in an exuberant display of speed and power which celebrated a nearly flawless World Championship Series. At week's end, crowns and trophies rained on the 7 drivers and teams whose efforts culminated in their receiving universal acclaims as the reigning nobility of the sport. The Miss Y100 Executone with driver Dave Ross finished an impressive 4th place for the race today with an average speed of 73.87 miles per hour. Miss Maxim with Tim Ciasoli averaged a speed of 76.21 miles per hour to give him a 2nd place finish in Offshore 3. Still Crazy, M111, with Richard Fulham, averaged a speed of 75.34 miles per hour for a 3rd place finish in the Michelob Light Key West World Championship. The father-son Carrick team in Cougar M588 finished first place in offshore 3 with an average speed of 77.65 miles per hour. Seventh place finisher in offshore 4 was P91, Jesse James with Chris Lavin. They finished with an average speed of 67.16 miles per hour. Tony Garcia outraced 9 UIM APBA Class 1 challengers as he piloted his Arneson Special to the prestigious Sam Griffith Trophy. Garcia, with Throttleman Keith Hazel, bounced back from a disappointing start in the 3-race Class 1 series to earn the Union of International Motorboating's traditional symbol of the world champion in offshore powerboat racing. Tony Garcia and Keith Hazel ran an incredible race to acquire the Sam Griffith Trophy and become the UIM APBA World Title Champions for 1983. Butch Ryan added to his recently earned 1983 Class II U.S. national title by taking the black and white to capture the World Championship as well. Ryan's 37-foot Active Cat Express faced a strong and relentless challenge from Dan Weinstein's 32.5-foot Cougar Cat Power Play for 2 laps. Due to Weinstein's unexpected accident, the abrupt removal of him from the competition opened the door for Seahawk, with Gus Falcon at the wheel to take over second place. In Offshore 2, Mike Jury placed third in Innovation.
I don't think there's any doubt about it now that Tony Garcia and Arneson Special is going to win the UIM championship. That's a very prestigious cup. I think probably the names that are on that cup almost write the lore of offshore racing. They certainly do make a tremendous contribution to all of marine. This has always been the proving ground for marine equipment, you know. It'll stand up under race conditions. You know that you can send your wife and 5 children out in a boat and be sure they're going to get back safely. And I'm very impressed with the way this boat has been running today, but even more I'm impressed with the way Tony Garcia has run it, along with Keith Hazel. They've been very conservative when they knew they couldn't push the big cats. The insurance thing they had was winning the race for UIM points. I think they've been very smart about the whole race. The boat's running well, but not fast. But then it isn't always the fastest boat that wins the race, you know.
It is safe harbor in victory lane for overall winner George Morales, standing by with Dave Despain.
The race winner today, George Morales. George, they said it was smooth water out there. The deep V shouldn't have been the hot setup, and you ran away with it. How come?
That's right. We took the lead 20 minutes after the start of the race, and we didn't know what happened because we didn't see any more boats whatsoever.
So it was a runaway for you then?
Well, we didn't know what was going on.
Why did you make the extra lap?
We were not sure if we have the check flag already, so that's the reason we have the extra lap.
And you came home a big winner. Congratulations to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Winner of the race, George Morales.
Tony Garcia has won the world title. Betty Cook, your thoughts on a title you've twice owned?
Ken, I've been there twice. How do I know how it feels to be 9 feet tall? It's winning an international world championship. And I know how those people feel. It's probably the greatest feeling in the world to walk into a room anytime in the rest of your life and say to yourself, I am a world champion.
Let's meet the 1983 world champion, Tony Garcia.
Last year, Tony Garcia won this race. He changed boats, came back, won it again this year. Tony, that's a pretty good record.
It really is. We're just all excited about the thing. UIM, I guess I won at APBA last year. It's nice to win UIM this year.
You are the world champion, but you're a gimpy world champion. You're limping around here. What
I
happened?
know. I sat down last year. I don't know what happened. I think in that rough stuff out there, I must have twisted the ankle. Didn't notice it till after we came in.
They've been calling it smooth catamaran water, but the deep V of George Morales ran well today. Did you elect to let him go and just secure the world championship, or did you try to race with him?
No, we tried to race with him. It really got rough on the way out to Smith Shoal. It was pounding out there. Back outside to Sand Key and the rest of the way was fine. But back in that Smith Shoal area, it was really rough, and I think that's why I hurt myself.
What's more exciting, the first or second championship?
I'll take either one.
Ladies and gentlemen, the world champion, Tony Garcia.
And our sincerest respect for all the winners in the various categories of competition here at Key West.
World Championship boat racing from Key West, Florida. Stock car action on a dirt oval and a paved road course. And what better place for a tractor pull than the Cow Palace? See it all today on television's fastest half hour.
Motor Week Illustrated is brought to you by Firestone Tires, where we're building radial tires street legal, competition tough, and proving it every week in the nation's toughest motorsports action. Firestone, the word's getting around. And by Dodge, makers of rammed-up Dodge trucks, and by Dodge cars that will revolutionize your perspective of the road. We are Dodge, an American revolution.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dave Despain. Welcome to Motor Week Illustrated. Now, let's move on to the year's biggest offshore powerboat race. In this rough and tumble sport, there are two world championships, an American and a European version. And both were decided in a single race last Saturday, Key West, Florida. This championship is split because the Americans and Europeans don't agree on boat specifications. U.S. boats are bigger, more powerful, and in some cases illegal by European standards. For those who believe in just one world championship, this year's two-race-in-one format was better than last year when Tony Garcia won the American title here at Key West. His European counterpart was crowned in Italy. There's the early leader, Al Copeland, a so-called superboat, legal for the American title, not the European. Al didn't win either. He broke down. That left Garcia out front, but his effort to consolidate the two championships by winning both fell short. George Morales blew by in his new superboat, a 45-footer making an amazing 2,100 horsepower. Morales, contesting the American version of the championship only, made a remarkable maiden voyage in his new Merc cruiser, winning the race by 5 minutes, then taking an extra lap for good measure. Garcia chased Morales home. He wins the international version of the world title. Tony had a bad limp on the victory dock, but said he didn't even know he was hurt.
I don't know what happened. I think in that rough stuff out there, I must have twisted the ankle. Didn't notice it till after we came in.
In 4 other divisions of competition, the action equally hot and heavy. Let's check out the battle for the sport class crown. 82 Key West winner Willie Diaz broke down before the first checkpoint. Reigning national champ Butch Ryan, S1, goes to the front. Ryan pressed hard by 82 class champ Dan Weinstein on the right. Well, look out, Danny. Sideways and over the top. Weinstein and crewman Dominic Santarelli and Pete Hubner escaped with only bruises and lacerations. We'll take another look. See the crew hurled out of the boat as it launches itself on a wild ride. Ryan went on to an easy sport class win. The modified champs, a father-son team out of Michigan, and Atkins Black Duck remains virtually unbeatable. Now, what are the chances that all this multiple championship business can be resolved so one driver reigns over all of offshore powerboat racing? Well, I'm not sure they're very good. Al Copeland's 4-engine 50-foot catamaran capable of 125 miles an hour marked a major escalation in racing technology and racing cost. Same for George Morales' giant Merc cruiser, the winner Sunday. In this highly competitive form of racing, these powerhouses are bound to trigger a wintertime rush of superboat construction. The result will be an even greater difference between the U.S. and European offshore fraternities next year. That will make consolidation of the championship even more difficult. My guess is the Americans will continue to go their own way, and even though it's incredibly expensive, I can tell you from last weekend's experience, those superboats are a thrill to watch. Now, we'll be back in just a moment with the latest on IndyCar racing and more of Motor Week Illustrated. Now, as we wrap things up and head for Riverside, a couple of footnotes to the story of the World Offshore Powerboat Championships. When Dan Weinstein flipped his boat Power Play off Sand Key last weekend, one of the first arrivals on the scene, the Class 5 boat of Jeff and Kenny Calabate. Though this brother team was in second place in class at the time, they sacrificed any chance of victory to stop and come to the aid of Weinstein and crew. We're pleased race officials later awarded the Calabate brothers that second place finish. These guys' selfless act on behalf of a fellow competitor gets our behind-the-scenes honor this week. And Key West also produced our champion spark plug Racer of the Week. As we reported earlier, the World Championship of Offshore Powerboat Racing is a convoluted matter. But Tony Garcia has a remarkable ability to reduce the championship equation to its simplest form. Last year, Tony ran for the American version of the world title, and he won it. This year, he went after the European crown, and he won that too. Back-to-back titles and one of the most dramatic of all forms of motorsport make Tony Garcia our champion Racer of the Week.
Production assistance and a promotional fee paid by Dodge Trucks, the official vehicles of Motor Week Illustrated. on the road, off the road, for competition or pleasure, for any job you give them. Dodge trucks are Ram tough.
Motor Week Illustrated was brought to you by Old Milwaukee Beer and Old Milwaukee Light, two great tasting beers. It doesn't get any better than this. And by Dodge, makers of Ram Tough Dodge trucks, and by Dodge cars that will revolutionize your perspective of the road. We are Dodge, an American revolution.
Today we are watching one of our fastest growing and most exciting sports, the sport that brings competitors and spectators to enjoy America's waters. Some of these participants drive these enormously expensive machines, but many more enjoy the competition and beauty of our nation's waters in affordable and enjoyable craft. The growth and popularity of our sport has been greatly helped by events such as you are now watching, made possible by some very dedicated people and companies, whom I'd like to thank right now. Sassone Industries, manufacturers of the finest activewear today. Popeye's famous fried chicken and biscuits. Myco Industries, manufacturers of Pulleton-style boat trailers. ACR Electronics, makers of powerboat, safety, and performance devices. Our host, the Galleon, Florida's great waterside residential and boating condominium community. The Key West City Electric Company, the government employees, and the citizens of this fabulous city, Key West, Florida. Thank you all.